101 Levitation. In the many letters I've received since the Art Bell show, I've gotten a number of people who have flown as youngsters and one who still flies. People can fly. Medicine people do fly. And I've had many complaints, why don't you show? Well, it's not our way. We learn it and we leave it. If it's needed, the Creator tells us to do it. I will be commanded only by one, the Commander himself, my Creator. All right, so far I have one adult that has learned to levitate for just over 1 second. Now that doesn't sound like a long time. It is a start. And it is so startling when you do it, you drop like a rock. You know you've stayed there. Anybody who's watching can see you stay. My grandson, I've taught him, he's been up and stayed up twice. First time for a little over a full second. The second time for a little over 2 seconds. He and this adult were doing it together when the adult did it the first time. And the adult was just skyrocket high. I did. And Matthew, my grandson, he walked away and shrugged his shoulder and said, big deal, I've done it twice and longer than you. Basically, what you do is you get into the mind thought of a child. A 2.5, 3.5-year-old child that can make up people and they're real to them. Nobody else can see them, but they can party all day and all night with these invisible friends. That kind of an attitude is what you need. Pretend that you're flying. Not pretend that you're going to, because that's all it'll end up. You're going to. A going to is not a doing. It's just something in the future. I started at the age of 10. It was the very first lesson that I was given to do and test as on my 41 years of training in the medicine ways. And I was not told what to expect. I was just told what to do. I did it, and I stayed up. I imagine a good 3 seconds, and it took 3 seconds for me to realize I'm 5.5 feet off the ground. That was it. I did it, and I knew I tested, and it worked. And that's my orders. You test everything. If it's true, hold it. If not, discard it. Now, it was fairly easy for me at the age I was, 10 years old, to still have that childlike mind. But nevertheless, I use the same method for almost all of the medicine work I do. So I use a simple thing of a trampoline to do this with. I did it off an old beater couch, a big old stuffed couch that was half ripped apart. I jumped off the big old padded arm, and I jumped onto the pads, and first foot to foot, and then foot to belly, and literally getting unafraid of landing on my stomach. And I started out just having fun. And that's what you should do. Start out having fun. Again, I was not told what to expect. You're being told what to expect. Then I started on this I can fly. Well, that was fun. And I went at this for, 20, 30 minutes easily. And suddenly I switched over from I can fly to saying I'm flying. And about the 4th or 5th jump, saying that's when I stayed up 5.5 feet from the floor, about 4 feet from the couch or a little higher, and I stayed there. I locked there. When it finally dawned on me that I was flying, holy mackerel, I went down like a rock, but I'd learned my lesson. People just do what they believe, period. There are no positives. There are no negatives. I can't is a positive. I can is a positive. You are positive. You can't. You cannot. So you're positive, and you will not because you are positive. Change that to can and be positive can, and whatever you choose to do can be done. because of the lesson given and the lesson learned, I've been able to teach this lesson. Out of all the people who have written since Mr. Bell's show, some have, many, have asked, what are the directions? I wish they'd have got it because my fingers are killing me from writing the directions over and over. But nevertheless, it's very simple. Get in a childlike mind. Forget that that's what you're out there trying to do. And just enjoy being a kid again. I don't care if you're 50 or 55 or 60 years old. Enjoying being a child. If you got no trampoline or any old beater couch or an old mattress to jump up and down on, go outside. Do like Mr. Bell said he did. Run up and down, jumping, and trying to fly, he said, and that's where he got screwed up. You don't try, you do it. It's just when you lose the trying and get serious about forgetting everything except running and jumping and having fun and yelling out, "Wee, I can fly," until, "Wee, I'm flying. That's when you do it. Now, I like to use scriptures as my safety net. I.e., if Christ can do it and did it, then we can too. He said so. Where did he fly? Well, I tell you, my friends, walking on water is kind of flying because that water wasn't ice. That's where he flew, just skimming the surface with his feet. Was he the only man in the Bible that flew? No. Peter was in the boat he was walking to and said, "That's you, Lord. Call me out. Let me walk to you." And he said, "Come on." Peter got out of the boat and walked towards Jesus before he, like I, at 10 years old, all of a sudden it dawned on him what he was doing, the impossible. And he too went down like a rock. Jesus had to pull him up. So, can people fly? Hey, Jesus said you can. You better believe it. I've done it. You better believe it. I know personally others that do it. My oldest sister, quite a woman, she'll wrap her dress around her legs. And if she has a need to fly, at the time I watched her, we were at a barbed wire fence. It was real muddy down by the gate. And it was easier for her to walk to the fence, wrap her dress around her legs, shut her eyes, and lift. Just slowly and comfortably. She's real good at it. Lift. Then she put her mind to send her body forward, went over the fence, put her mind to slowly drop down, float. And she did and went on her way. And the first time, believe it or not, as hard as it is, it's the second time that's the hardest because now you know you've done it. Now you are firmly out there trying. And I tell you, my friends, you will trip on trying. It is not going to work. You're going to spend a lot more time getting back into that childlike, forgetting what you're out there for, just pretending that you're having fun, pretending that you are flying, pretending you will fly, pretending you're staying up and being a kid again. Then you'll do it again, and it'll be at least 1 second longer, at least. And down you come like a rock. The third time is probably as hard as the first time. But once again, using the same method I told you of here, you will go up, you will stay maybe 3 or more seconds longer, and then down like a rock. Now there's an odd thing about the number 3.